Just last year, Apple jumped into the VR space when it released its Vision Pro headset. Now they're calling it special computing, namely because of how your computing experience in VR space is totally and utterly changed when you're using the Vision Pro headset. Now, when the Vision Pro was released, there was a lot of buzz and excitement around the technical capabilities and specs of the headset. If you looked at the UI, you looked at the way you interact with your headset, how you could actually use it with your laptop, it was a very good experience. A lot of people applauded it for its dynamic way of handling computing, especially computing. But there was one big drawback from the headset, and that was the price. Now, coming in at $3,500, they pretty much priced themselves out of most people from picking up one of those headsets. But it looks like Apple isn't going to be done, as we've heard word, and we know that they are going to be making new Vision Pro headsets. So in this video, I'm going to go over a little bit more information about the two new headsets that Apple is planning on building. But before we dive deep into all that information, if you're new to this channel and enjoy staying up to date with the latest tech news, you've landed at the right place. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button if you enjoy this type of content. All right, let's go into this. Apple is working on two new VR headsets, including a cheaper and lighter Vision Pro 2. Now, this is an article out of TechSpot.com. So, industry analyst Mark Gurman has his newsletter, and in that latest one, he talked about the Vision Pro 2 will be lighter than its predecessor. The existing hardware, as we know, weighs about 1.5 pounds, and it was uncomfortable to wear for extended periods of time. When the Vision Pro came out last year, that was one of the big knocks that everybody had on it, was once you started using this headset for a long period of time, it was definitely heavy for you to use. As like you say, it was 1.5 pounds. It was just a very big and heavy headset, so it was definitely very uncomfortable. So that's one of the things that Apple is going to be doing with its headset. The next version of it, it's going to make it lighter, and we have some more information about that in another article that I'm going to go into as to some of the materials that they're going to be using. Also, again, like the $3,500 price point, when they announced that price point, I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I was not a big fan of that price point, obviously, as that is out of the price range of most people. And because of that, I believe that their numbers that they sold probably as of last year was probably around 300,000 units. That it could be around that or up at this point, but that's about how many units I believe they sold based on the numbers as of last year. So it didn't hit mass market appeal, but upon their initial announcement of this, I think I said in one of my earlier videos that if they were to sell maybe around 300 to 400,000, I think you could call that a success for this type of product, or early product, or first gen product. But it still hasn't reached mass appeal yet. As you know, the VR space is in decline, and it's a very niche headset. But you know, people like Apple want to jump into it and see what they can give their spark on there. And usually, when Apple jumps into a space, they usually tend to make that space grow and make it a market, like the iPad market. You know, we have tablets, but it's really dominated by iPad. But it did not have that effect with this VR headset, namely because the price point was just too far out there. And if you look at the tech and everything involved in there, it was very, very high end. And I've always felt that they should not have come out with that headset first. They should have come out with probably what they're going to be making in the cheaper, lighter headset first, to test the waters, get people excited, and then come out with the more expensive product that they released originally. I think you would have whet people's appetite for it, show the capabilities of it, and then improve upon that. But let me continue on here. Garmin also claimed that the second generation Vision Pro will support Mac connectivity, allow users to view VR content with the same level of immersion as the current model. The updated headset will reportedly feature a low latency system tailored for critical enterprise applications with minimal lag is essential, such as live surgical imaging and flight simulators. They're developing another headset, so this is information about the second headset they're developing, and this one will require a connection to a Mac computer, which I think is a good idea if you want to lower the cost. You offload all the horsepower and computing onto your MacBook or your laptop or whatever, and bam, you have a cheaper, maybe even a lighter headset. But it does require a physical connection to the MacBook, but that will fit in line with what some of your traditional or your earlier VR headsets will are doing, and it's obviously a lot cheaper and it's more mass appeal. I think if Apple can do that, I think they will be able to get a lot more people into the market, because Apple people who buy Apple products are very loyal, very faithful. They will drop down a few $100 or how much ever this is going to cost. I can't see this costing on the level of a Quest. Now hit 2 or 3, whatever. It's going to be a little bit more just because it's Apple. But continuing on here, they are also, not only are they working on headsets, they're also working on AR glasses. Apple's AR glasses could resemble Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses, but with deeper integration into the Apple ecosystem, featuring Siri and Apple Intelligence. Oh boy. Now, the good thing is that it's still a couple years away, or a few years away. So by that time, Siri will have grown up and Apple Intelligence will have become a lot better, hopefully, at this point. So you know about the problems and the issues that they're having with Siri and Apple Intelligence. I've already touched on that in another video. You can check that out right here. But in a few years, hopefully they'll have that figured out. Now, this is reportedly is a very big product, not product, but very closely monitored by Tim Cook. This is his personal pet project right here. So I'm definitely sure that he's going to be in it and looking over it and make sure that it meets his standard and his specifications. Now let's take a look at the Vision Pro 2 components leak to support the lighter build claims, and this is out of digitaltrends.com. We had some pictures go up on X showing off the charging cables, but now what that alone may not be too exciting when it's placed in context. It adds weight to the other rumors. Just the day before this, another leaker claimed that the new Apple Vision Pro would come in new materials, specifically titanium, which would mean lighter than the current model. The claim then went on to point out the details that the new model will come in dark blue graphite components. Now, if you tell me that a Vision Pro headset would have dark and blue components or cables, that would look pretty sweet. Let me go over here to X and take a look at these posts right here from the user Kosutami. You can see here that the charging cable here, you see it does have that black graphite look to it. And then you scroll down here, this is another one showing off the size of the new cable compared to the old cable. So it's still using the Apple's Lightning cable here. I wish they would just change that and make it just USB-C at this point, but they're still going with their traditional cable here. But again, that color, I would love for them to do that color. If they would show off a Vision Pro headset with that in the color scheme in there, that would be pretty dope, I think. But I would never afford one or never buy one personally, because I'm not really into Apple products. But it would still be a pretty sweet idea to have that color, give you a little bit more diversity instead of getting away from traditional white. Give it a little bit of darkness to it, bring some color to it. So let me know what you guys think about that. Are you interested in the Vision Pro 2 headset? Is this something that's up your alley? Did you buy the Vision Pro 1? If not, or if you did, let me know down in the comment section what your thoughts are about what Apple is doing with the next version of the Vision Pro headset. Once again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video. If you enjoyed this video and enjoy staying up to date with the latest content, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button. And if you have friends or family that enjoy this type of content, make sure you share this with them, as they may enjoy this as well. Also, if you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, head over to Sound30.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more general tech news, all at the website Sound30.com. And for even more tech news in video form, check out one of these 2 videos right here. Until next video, guys, stay nerdy.